Hello, my name is Calen Yaryan. I'm the Chief Technology Officer of Certified Cyber Solutions. Today I want to take you through a quick demo of our software and some of the features that we offer. This interface that you're seeing is what we call the dashboard, and it exists both on your dealer server and on the client server. The system can be accessed from either location. Here we have a background image that is the East Coast. This image is customizable, so it's going to represent the largest geography that you monitor as a dealer. So it could be your city, could be your state, could be the entire globe, whatever you'd like. To get to this point, typically we would have received an email or a text message to tell us we're having a problem. I would then take my username and password and log into the system, and then I'm presented with this interface. We can see right away that we do have an issue. We have a camera that's offline, and we can tell it's in Charleston because Charleston's flashing red. We can also tell that we don't have any other issues currently because none of the other group location icons are flashing. These represent all the systems that we're monitoring at these different areas, and this icon gives us a high-level view of the status or health of all those systems. So we know there's no problems in New York, no problems in Atlanta because we have a purple solid icon. We'll go ahead and double-click in our Charleston area. And we're presented with a map of the greater Charleston area. We have a few clients that we see that we're monitoring, and we have no issues again there. They're solid purple. We do see we have a problem at John Q. Customer's house. We're going to go in one more level, and we're presented with a floor plan of the client's house. So this floor plan obviously is customizable based on the client. It could be an AutoCAD drawing, a Visio drawing, or really any image file can be used. But it's convenient to be able to look at it from a troubleshooting standpoint and tell maybe a technician on site it's the camera at the front of the house, or it's the wireless access point on the first floor in the back left of the house, instead of just sending them on site and telling them, hey, we're having a problem with the camera or a wireless access point. Something else you'll see is we're able to define relationships. So here we see that this camera and this wireless touch panel connect to this wireless access point. This information can be given to us automatically. If we have a layer 3 switch, it will tell us what's connected and what the relationships are. Or we can define these relationships manually. What's nice about that is we're able to see from a troubleshooting standpoint, it's not a wireless issue. It doesn't look like the camera or there's an issue with the wireless access point. It's an issue with the camera itself. If the issue were reversed, the wireless access point would be off, and then all the attached devices would also be offline. From here, we really want to be able to do something. So we want to be able to fix the problem. Most monitoring solutions will just tell you about a problem, but in order to fix it, we have to be able to actually log in and do something. So that's where our Secure Access Manager comes in. We'll go ahead and click that. This brings us up to an interface that allows us to attempt to connect to the device. It gives us a little bit of information about the device, when it was last modified, some notes in this case telling us that the device gets its power from our iBoot bar. And then we also have a link to the manual on the website. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to the iBoot bar, which is in the client's rack. Here we see a picture of the rack and the equipment that we're monitoring over top of it. This is, again, a customizable image that you can put, but it's nice to be able to see exactly what the system looks like when we installed it. We want to go ahead and try and access our iBoot bar. So again, we're going to go into SAM. We're just going to click this launch button. What this does is it looks at our user, determines that our user has permission or doesn't have permission to access the equipment, and because my user does have permission to access it, it sends the device credentials to the device on my behalf. So you'll see here username and password fields were automatically filled in. I just click login, and now I'm presented with the interface of our iBoot bar. This could be any IP-enabled power equipment, but we are using currently our iBoot bar, which is an 8-outlet piece. We see that the camera, which is on outlet 1, is turned off. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. Typically we would probably just power cycle that, but for the demo we have it off. We can power cycle individual outlets with this piece, or we can power cycle groups of outlets together if we want. Going back out, I mentioned the manual earlier. We have the link here so that technicians have all the tools they need to actually fix a problem remotely or in the field. Maybe it's not an up-down problem, maybe it's a programming issue, so we have a link to the manual for them in the software. going to go back to the floor plan view here. You'll notice very quickly what will happen is the software is constantly checking the status of a device, and the device turns from a red alert to a purple alert here. So there's two purple alerts that have happened. The reason we do that and don't just clearly alert out is really so that the technician has a visual history of what's happened. So if I log in after the situation has been rectified, I can at least see, okay, the camera was offline. I have a history of that, but I see that the software thinks it's back up now. I also have this other alert, which is from the iBoot bar itself. I'm going to go ahead and show you that. This just tells us that the admin logged in to the iBoot bar, turned on outlet 1, which is the camera, and it was done via the web interface. So a very granular level of detail of who did what on the device. I want to go ahead and validate now that the camera's working. The software says it's working, it's flashing purple, but let's validate that. So we'll go to View Device, I'm going to click Launch. And here, again, same thing's happening. The software is determining if my user has permission to access the equipment. And because I do, my device credentials were sent to the device on my behalf, and then the device's response was redirected to me in a secure manner. Here we see the front door. I have full access to do whatever it is that I need to do. So in this case, I can move it, but this could be a router, could be a wireless access point I need to change a setting on. But I'm able to validate, yes, it is working. So I'll go ahead and go back out to the floor plan again. I'm going to clear these alerts because I know that it is working. I haven't just been told that by the software. I validated that. I didn't delete them. I'm just clearing them from active alerts so we can pull a report of that later on if we'd like. And I'm going to go back out to the global view again, and we'll see that everything will refresh, and I go back to a healthy status at all my locations. Quick recap of what I actually did and the significance of that. So I received an alert from the system telling me that the camera was down. I logged in to the software, was able to see the floor plan view, what was going on, was able to log in and power cycle a device, and then log into the device that I power cycled and validate that the device is working. All the time I didn't need a username and password. I did not need the IP address or any port information, so it was easy and convenient for me. On top of that, it's secure because I never actually knew the username and password to the equipment. If I were to try and access the equipment outside of the software, I would be challenged with a username and password for the equipment, and I don't know what that is. Equally importantly, we're logging all of my activity, so I can pull a report that says Caleb logged in to the system, Caleb logged into the iBoot bar, he then logged into the camera. So there's an accountability now as to my actions, what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. Also, if my services are no longer needed as a technician and I were to leave the company, you can shut off my access to all of the clients through one portal, remove one username and password, and now I don't have access to any of the systems, and you don't have to worry about going back to each individual client and changing device username and passwords as each client. So that is a quick run through of what we do and what the software does. There's certainly many more things that we do, and would love to answer any other questions you have.